Hello, CDN Network. You're here with Nick Bostigo today to report some breaking news coming out of the National Hockey League. The current winning Norris Trophy defenseman, Erik Karlsson, has just been traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins in a three-team trade that we're going to be talking about today. First off, obviously the biggest winner in this trade was the Pittsburgh Penguins acquiring Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson, one of the first defensemen to have 100 points in a single season in a very long time. You don't see that very often by defensemen. Also, part of the trade, the Canadiens also acquiring Jeff Petrie along with some other expenses, and with the Sharks also acquiring Mikael Granlund, which is also including some other expenses. And today I kind of want to talk about the Penguins, what their effect is going to be on the Metropolitan Division this year, and how Erik Karlsson could be a positive or a negative to the team. First off, you're going to have Erik Karlsson, who is a very well-experienced defenseman, has had much history with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and performed pretty good with the San Jose Sharks when he was there with his time, and also with Ottawa when he was there. The number one thing the Pens have been downfalling is I feel like their defensive game. Uh, you know, Chris Letang really, just holding that team together in the defensive era, but not really much other help from them. So I think Erik Karlsson being added to the team is definitely going to help them a lot. But if you're going to see Erik Karlsson with Chris Letang on the same line, which I don't think we're going to see with the Penguins, then I think that's going to be a mistake, and I think the Penguins this trade is going to be absolutely useless. And also another trade that happened for the Penguins during the offseason with the Riley Smith trade. Riley Smith, he had a really good year with Vegas this year, obviously winning the Stanley Cup. And I think overall he's just performed very well, and now going to be under a squad like with Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and much other talent on the Pittsburgh Penguins. I feel like on paper the Pittsburgh Penguins are a good team, but considering how the Metropolitan Division is being played out, it's very they can make the playoffs, but I don't know if it's very likely. First of all, you got the Carolina Hurricanes, who are just absolutely building their team every single offseason. It's almost like you can't even stop them at this point. Just the talent on that team. I feel like the number one thing that they have to worry about is injuries, but if they can just get around injuries, then they're going to have a good year. Another thing I can see from the Metropolitan Division, obviously, is the rising New Jersey Devils. The Devils, they have been absolutely going insane this offseason now with their amazing lineup of Jack Hughes, Dawson Mercer, Nico Heishner, and now Tyler Toffoli, and even now signing Timo Meier, which happened not too long ago. And also the New York Rangers, as a fan, they've been very shaky this year, but I feel like this offseason has been very well. A few good signings I can see from the Rangers, signing Blake Wheeler. Blake Wheeler was an absolute amazing player with with the Jets, and he was getting paid $8 million, and now that he's going to be on a team with the New York Rangers and only getting paid $150,000, I think that's a great move by the Rangers. Also adding Jonathan Quick to the team, very good generational talented player. Obviously, he's coming to the end of his career in the NHL, but I think we can definitely see some good things from him. And even signing Nick Bonino, who's going to add a little bit of depth to the team, but I think he'll still perform pretty well. But back to the Penguins. The Penguins, they're a shot because I feel like the Penguins, they just barely missed the playoffs. Like, they're not a bad team. But I think this offseason has definitely, made them step up in a way. So really at this point, it all depends on how the Rangers do and if the Islanders can make other moves. I think the Islanders re-signing Bo Horvat is a really good move. So if the Islanders make any other significant moves, then maybe it could play an effect. But until then, I think you could see the Pittsburgh Penguins possibly regaining their era of making the playoffs. And I think that this team could possibly make the playoffs. Really, they just got to focus on the future after this year.